You're watching Single Process with Joe and Bob. We created this video series to help you navigate the difficult process of divorce, and we hope this helps you on your journey. We are doing another segment today on random questions we get asked
all the time
yeah. by friends on things related to divorce.
And enemies, yes.
And they don't fit into a particular category of our other segments, but we wanted to share this information with you.
Yeah, there's so much. So we have Jill Bicks with us in the hot seat, and I love this. Jill Bicks is actually the consultant on that HBO series Divorce with Jessica. What's her
Sarah
name?
Jessica
Sarah
Parker.
Jessica Parker. So she's great at this. So Jill, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Okay, I got a great lead-in because I have a friend that hired a divorce coach.
Huh.
And she says that this helps her communicate better with her attorney.
Really? Okay.
It isn't Joe.
I have to say, the divorce kind of, corporate culture is just people finding ways to earn money off people's misery. And I'm one of them, but
Well, there's so much divorce these days. It's crazy.
what I would say to your friend is if she can't communicate with her lawyer, she should find a new lawyer and find a therapist. Because if you want to be able to, deal with your emotional things, you need someone who's specifically trained. Most divorce coaches...
There's no certification for a divorce coach?
No.
No. And so you just,
Okay.
well, let's talk about communication with your lawyer because I found this to be absolutely the make or break for me. Did they return my phone calls? Because when you're in crisis, it may not actually be important, but you feel it's
it is,
important.
yes.
You want an
Responsiveness.
answer. How do you decide if your lawyer is going to be responsive at the outset?
Because they're all going to say they are.
Well, you're going to see it right away. When you called for, an appointment, did you get a return phone call? Were you able to get in to see your lawyer quickly? When you were meeting with them, were they focused on you? Did you feel comfortable? Almost every lawyer will give you a half an hour free to just see if there's chemistry. I do that because I think it's really, really important. If a client can't ask me questions, isn't comfortable, doesn't understand me, it's not good for the client.
Well, it's same for
not
you.
Good for me.
It's not right. There has to be some good chemistry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So take the time and find someone that you're comfortable with, whose approach matches up with the approach you want to take. If you, want alternative medicine, don't go to a surgeon. You're going to get surgery.
Okay.
I totally hear that.
Okay.
But the temptation is to lawyer up to match who your,
Right. He gets a
spouse.
shark, so you go get a shark, or
Is
right?
that necessary? Like, how do you deal with that issue?
Well, if each of you has a shark, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
Because, you're just going to be prepared to spend a lot of money. And that's the situation. So a lot of times people come to me before they've even broached the subject of divorce. And I speak to them a lot about how to get their spouse to pick a certain kind of lawyer.
Really?
And we strategize about it. It's a big part of my
Maybe the
initial
divorce coach
consult.
could do that.
Get your lawyer to do it. That's a great
No, but you're
idea.
right, because you have said in other segments it's important who's on the other side of the table determines how quickly the divorce goes, how expensive the divorce goes, right?
And the tools that are used to get to a resolution. So if you pick a litigator who says, I'm going to, no, we're going to settle, I'm going to be collaborative, that litigator is still going to file motions, is still going to want to take depositions.
Why? Because that's the litigation process?
Yes.
Okay, see, I never understood that.
Yes.
So when you're in a process like collaboration or mediation, it takes that contention out of the room.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is really important.
Yeah.
All right, I want to fast forward a little bit to some post-divorce issues. I know we started off at the back at the beginning, but now we're going to the end. So tell me what happens if you get divorced and you have you divide your liabilities, right? So you have a credit card, $20,000, you each owe 10. What happens if your ex-spouse, now ex, doesn't pay? Who does the creditor go after?
So that's an excellent question because you think, okay, here's my divorce judgment, 50-50 on the credit card. Well, technically, yes. However, what you agree with your husband doesn't affect the rights of the creditor, the credit card company in that instance. That credit card company can still come after you for 100%
of the debt.
And then you have to go after your husband who probably doesn't have the money.
Which means you go back in court and spend more money to go after somebody who doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
So the idea is really try and get all your debts paid off pre-divorce or your joint debt that you could possibly be responsible for, right?
Yes. and or put in to your settlement agreement what happens in the event that the person doesn't pay
But
their
you'd
share.
still be having to go after them, and I would like to avoid that part altogether.
You raise a good point. Like, what if somebody just violates their agreement? I mean, there's stuff in writing, and somebody can just be like, I'm not going to do that. Take me back to court over it.
Yeah. Well, it's really important to know that what you have written as an agreement as a court order is only as good as the paper that it's written on. And if people violate it, yes, you do end up back in court. So that's why picking a process that helps you problem solve, develop, and maintain a relatively decent relationship with that spouse is going to eliminate problems down the road, because you're divorced, but you're still together, linked financially, linked for your children, and that's something people don't really get as they're rushing to the finish line.
Well, talking about the fact that you're still linked, I got a text from a friend today saying, I cannot communicate with my ex-spouse over all sorts of parenting decisions and anything post-divorce.
And then I asked you to pick me up a sandwich. Yeah. No, it was not right.
Who can you get to help you in that process if you just are, it's so acrimonious post-divorce?
Yeah.
Okay, so we started out the segment talking about divorce coaches, and I was kind of laughing about that.
Yeah.
But actually, in this instance, there are professionals. Usually they're mental health professionals with letters after their name, and they're trained, and they're called co-parent counselors.
Okay. A co-parent. Okay, and when does this person come in?
Counselors to help you and your divorced, ex deal with each other about limited ways regarding your kids.
So you don't go, instead of going back to lawyers, which is expensive.
Yes.
And there's a kind of a built-in, maybe,
Yeah.
acrimonious element
Yeah.
to it. You're saying get a co-parenting counselor.
Yes. And in all of my agreements, my divorce agreements, where there are kids involved,
Yeah. You write it in.
I write that in.
Oh, I love that.
See, this is what, if you're collaborating successfully, you're proactive in what you're thinking about through the divorce. You
Yes.
head off a lot of garbage
a lot
later.
of this nonsense.
And litigation isn't about that. Litigation isn't about problem solving. It's about
Winning.
Winning, but you're really not
Yeah,
winning.
right.
There's nothing to
There's
win.
nothing to
Well, you make the point all the time when kids are involved, stop with the winning and just
Yeah.
come up with the best family agreement.
Yeah.
Everybody should be winning, right?
All right,
Yeah.
now let's go to a time when you don't feel like you're winning as a spouse who's getting paid alimony. You decide to get remarried.
Mm-hmm.
Does that automatically in every state just terminate your alimony, or is it?
Yeah, what if you got your alimony in a lump sum up front? What do you do about that situation?
So, okay, great questions. I love your questions.
Okay.
Okay, so yes,
High five.
your alimony terminates upon remarriage. It just does. In almost every state.
So you should lie about getting remarried.
Well, what people
Don't
do
get married.
is they cohabit, right? They live together.
Even
without
that can
getting
knock
married.
some of the agreements out.
Yeah, even that can have you back
Okay.
in court recalculating your alimony. So remarriage, and if you think about it, if you're paying, let's do a little role reversal.
Yep.
Say your ex, was the home person with the kids, and you're paying alimony.
Yeah.
How do you feel if he's, remarried?
That would make me crazy. That would, yeah.
So we have to kind of sometimes put on the other person's hat and understand that. And so lump sum alimony, though, is done at the time of divorce, and it can't be changed and it can't be modified. So if in the back of your head you think that that's in your future, negotiating lump sum alimony as opposed to periodic alimony
Yes.
is a good
It's a good strategy.
Okay.
It's a great
Well, I
strategy.
think it's always a good strategy because you get the cash up front, right?
Well, it's normally at a bit of a discount
Okay.
because you're getting it up
Okay.
front, so it might
Yeah.
be less.
All right.
What happens if you have unallocated alimony, which means you just get a general amount that includes alimony and child support when you get remarried? Can you go back and just ask for child support still?
Yeah.
Oh.
So child support goes with the child as long as the child is still living primarily with you, or in Connecticut, there's a different way of thinking about it. But child support is until a child reaches the age of 18 and has
Okay.
nothing to do with whether you're married or remarried. A parent still has an obligation to support their child.
My kids are still mooching off of me, and I've got kids that are past 18. So I guess I could legally cut them off.
You
but
could.
it could.
Yeah.
That can happen.
You're
So
not
you
gonna
can
do
go
that.
back and get
Okay.
child support.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I feel like that's a very fluid issue anyways, because kids' needs are changing all the time.
Right.
We've done other segments where the kids have special needs or they have athletic commitments and things like that. Okay.
And so this is, again, like the perfect example of thinking, okay, I'm rushing to the finish line to get my divorce done. That's all I can think about. But the reality is you're not done.
Right.
This person is in your life because you're connected financially or you're connected through your kids.
Mm-hmm. Is alimony always modifiable? You said something which is triggering a thought. You said you can put in your agreement that it's non-modifiable or so how does that work?
This is why you need a lawyer in this process, and why a mediator doesn't always raise all the different options that exist. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But if you don't ask the question, you don't know. And so you can make alimony taxable or not taxable. You can make it modifiable or not modifiable. They'll make it periodic or lump sum. There's so many different ways to play with it.
You really need a ton of advice.
Oh my gosh, there's so much to learn. I know.
So much
we say this all the time. We want to go back and get re-divorced after this. No. Just have a do-over, not do it again.
But the more we do this, the more questions come up. And literally, like every day, friends will come to us and need advice. And most of them, I mean, by the time you decide to get divorced, you are beaten up. You just need some simple, clean answers, and you need someone to hold your hand through it. So, I mean, really, hiring a good lawyer is probably the best thing you just said in this segment. Yeah, get a good lawyer.
Get a good lawyer.
So, thank you. Okay, for more information on how to go through this process effectively, please log on to singleprocess.me.